prise du débat.
Resume debate.
Member for Ottawa South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and good evening to the House and to Canadians who may be watching. Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, on May the 6th, in our first debate on the motion that I have the honor to present, the motion by the member for Laurier Saint-Laurent, I urged this House and the government to have our country become a member of the International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA. I also called on the government to increase its support to the Canadian renewable energy sector, starting with the broadening of the ecoENERGY program. I also listened to my colleagues, the Bloc member for Trois-Rivières, the NDP member for Edmonton, Strathcona, as well as the Conservative member for Saskatoon-Humboldt, and other members. There have been two Conservative members, therefore the member for Saskatoon-Humboldt and the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Human Resources and Skills Development and to the Minister of Labour have expressed the point of view of the government. They indicated that the government did not intend to join IRENA and was satisfied with its efforts to promote renewable energy. And I thank them for expressing the Conservative Party's point of view. However, I feel that that position is untenable, and I still hope that the government will see the light and change its mind. I would like to use the time at my disposal to try to convince them of that.
I'd like to look at the arguments put forward by my colleague from Saskatoon-Humboldt on May 6th.
governments fear that IRENA might duplicate the work of other organizations to which Canada belongs and which it supports financially. Well, as it happens, many countries that are also members of these organizations have joined IRENA. Here are a few examples. The member for Saskatoon-Humboldt pointed out that countries such as Germany, Spain, Austria, Ireland, Italy and the Netherlands, as well as Canada, are members of the Renewable Energy Efficiency Partnership. Well, guess what, Mr. Speaker? These countries have also all joined IRENA. The member opposite also referred to the Global Bioenergy Partnership. Well, as it happens, at least 8 of the 25 international members of this partnership are already members of IRENA. The member also mentioned the International Energy Agency. I am sure he will be happy to learn that of the International Energy Agency's 28 member countries, 14, that is half, have already joined IRENA. I'll also remind him, as was said on May 6th, that the IEA's mandate is to deal mainly with long-standing non-renewable technologies, with a strong focus on nuclear and fossil fuels. It currently spends only 2% of its budget on renewable energy activities. The same member for Saskatoon-Humboldt also mentioned other institutions such as the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, the APEC, and the United Nations Environment Program. I'll point out that although they have recently increased their very modest involvement in this sector, thus recognizing, of course, its growing importance, these organizations only have a tangential, a peripheral interest in renewable energy. Overall, these different agencies welcome IRENA as a valuable addition for cohesion and focus, and for that matter, for momentum. For example, Dr. Marianne Osterkorn, Director General of the Renewable Energy Efficiency Partnership, stated that, and I quote, IRENA will no doubt become a heavyweight facilitator, providing policy advice to governments and paving the way for technology transfer. This will complement REAP's efforts in working with the private sector and governments to accelerate the market for both renewable and energy efficiency. Par conséquent, Monsieur le Président.
So, the risk of duplicating the work being done by IRENA with other organizations having an interest in renewable energy is small. On the contrary, IRENA is the only organization with the official role of facilitating and assisting with the planification, coordination, and the implementation of international initiatives to ensure the implementation of renewable energies. Action that is more necessary than ever before. If the government really wants Canada to take part in this essential action and role that IRENA will play, it has to allow our country to become an active member with based on the strength of the technological expertise and international experience that Canada has.
An integrated approach to energy issues. Well, this is precisely what IRENA offers and purports to do, but at an international level. My point is that IRENA is more likely to succeed with Canada than without Canada. To succeed to help the world to benefit from the potential of the rapidly growing renewable energy sector, to provide, for example, climate change mitigation, energy security, and jobs. Thousands and thousands of jobs. The government's other argument is that key countries such as the United States, Japan, Russia, Brazil, and China have not yet joined IRENA. C'est très intéressant.
That's very interesting. During our last debate on May 6th, IRENA had 78 member nations, and since then, 18 other countries have joined IRENA, bringing the total number of members to 96. China is not a member of IRENA, at least not yet, but India is. The United States and Great Britain have indicated their interest. The United States' joining has even been the subject of a motion at the House of Representatives. What a difference with a democratic government, Mr. Speaker. As for Australia, its Prime Minister announced his intention to join this agency. One thing is clear. IRENA is here to stay, and it will live on and prosper. Developed and developing countries will join it, be they big or small players in the energy sector, producers or consumers of fossil fuels. Canada should also join this movement. The question is about when it will do so, long after the others or as soon as possible. Too late to have any influence or in time to benefit the most. I'd also like to talk about the other aspect of the government's response to my motion supporting renewable energies. The government claims that it's doing enough in promoting renewable energies in Canada, and this is completely out of touch with the reality. They must come from another planet. The words renewable energy are not mentioned a single time in the 2009 Conservative budget. According to the Pembina Institute, only 5% of the stimulus funds over the next 2 years will be invested in clean energy, in renewable energy. The Conservative government is investing almost 14 times less per capita in renewable energy than there is in the last federal budget in the United States.
14 times more money being spent in the United States than Canada on renewable energy. Talk about a risk of flight of capital to the United States from our already scarce venture capital funds that want to invest in green and clean technology. In fact, when compared to European nations and the USA, the investment in renewable energy by this Conservative government is simply, there's no other word, ludicrous. They did the absolute minimum over the last 3 years. So on that note, Mr. Speaker, I would like to again congratulate my fine colleague from the fine riding of Saint-Laurent, Cartierville, our former leader, for presenting such a well-thought-out motion which speaks to the very DNA of Canadian society, that is our multilateral traditions, in joining IRENA and leading the world for a clean and green and lean and mean technological future where we all win. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Resuming debate, the honourable member for Kenora.
Thank you, Mr.